Being out on the trail backpacking and camping can be amazing, but it also can be extremely overwhelming if you suffer from anxiety, kind of like I do. Let's go over the 5 things that we've found to help keep anxiety in check. Maybe it'll help you or someone you know. But first, let's grab some gear and head out on a hike.
Number 1, first thing we do is make sure that we have a source of communication, and that is before we even hit the trail.
Yeah, having a plan so you know exactly what to do in the event that you actually did have some kind of emergency, you're actually well prepared. Our communication plan consists of a Garmin inReach, and we can use that so if we needed to make an emergency call, we could.
Thank goodness we haven't had to do that yet.
The new iPhones also have the capability of communicating up with satellites, so that's also an option.
Make sure you also have a battery pack along with the cables that you need for each device. And one thing to note, make sure that you know how to use the device and maybe send out a test message. That way, if you're actually in the situation where you need to use it, you actually know how to use it.
We do realize that there's many different types and causes of anxiety. Mine just happens to come from allergies I've been blessed with in my life, that my throat and lungs will get inflamed. Having your throat close up when you're far away from any possible medical help can spur on a pretty good panic attack. So that's where I'm coming from. Number 2 is make sure if you have any special medications, you 1, know how to store them, and 2, take any precautions that you may have. So with something like an EpiPen, this cannot be frozen, and so you basically have to treat it slightly special. Treat it like you do your water filter, because you can't freeze those either. What I do is I would take this, put it with my water filter, and put it in my sleeping bag or in my coat if it gets really cold. Another thing is if you have specialty medication like this, make sure that someone in your party or the rest of your party actually knows what to do with this in the event of emergency, then you actually had to use it.
With medication, you want to make sure that you have it in a place where you can easily get to it. We keep ours in our emergency kit, and we found a great way to store it. We found these little itty bitty containers.
One thing we like to do is throw a cotton ball in your little container that has your pills in it. In the past, we didn't do this, and in the container we used, literally you would be left with powder and like no resemblance of pills at all. And so if just throw that in there and it keeps everything from getting smashed. Number 3 would be to talk about it. Most people you're going hiking with, I'm sure they would be happy to help you if you actually had an issue.
And that way they're in the know.
In our situation, Kelly can actually visibly see if I'm starting to have an issue before I even know that I'm having an issue. So
because breathing starts to change a little bit.
And so she can remind me to take some medicine preemptively, and then it just doesn't escalate into something that it doesn't need to be.
And also if I tend to be a little bit chatty and try to get his mind off of the situation.
So much for 0 precipitation. It has been drizzly all day long, and now it just isn't going to stop. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to cook some snacks or not. Number 4 is to face your fears. And by that, I mean, don't suppress it. Just kind of deal with it when it happens. I work on a scale of 1 to 10. And if I have a problem, I'll say, hey, Kelly, I'm kind of like at a 6 right now, and we need to take a break. That tells her exactly what she needs to know, and it's okay to take a break if you need to.
Yeah.
One other thing about working on the scale is if you're maybe hiking with people that you're not super familiar with and you still want to give them a little bit of information but not tell them exactly what's going on, you can just say, hey, this is kind of what I'm dealing with. I'm up here at this scale, and to them, they might not totally understand you, but they'll know that, okay, well, let's change our plans a little bit so we can deal with it. As you can see, the weather is absolutely not cooperating. But number 5 is to set your own goals. If you look online, you'll see people hiking for 6 months out on the Appalachian Trail or doing these crazy long through hikes, and you think that that's the norm. I should be doing that. Well, if your abilities only allow you to make it out on a 200-yard hike to get to a spot to camp, that is totally fine.
And along those lines, we set ours to, we went out for a day hike and, added a mileage each time we went out until finally we did an overnight. And then we did 2 overnights and then a 3-day. And then we are with our main goal being Mount Rainier, a 5-day backpacking overnight camping trip.
Way far away from medical help.
Yes. and so, we did it.
Yeah. And I didn't have a single issue during that trip. So I think that was a big success.
So set yourself some goals and, just start out small, ones that you know that you're going to be able to accomplish. Don't go crazy and say, hey, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be hiking the Appalachian Trail. Just start out small, gradually grow from there.
If you have an idea or if you do something helpful that someone else might find useful, leave them in the comments down below. Go watch this video next. It's absolutely pouring down right now. You can find us at exploretrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.